chosen one. Stop for a moment. This is not random. This is not a video, not a post, not coincidence. This is a divine signal. Something moves in the unseen realm. You can feel it, can't you? That trembling inside your chest, that strange mix of stillness and urgency. It's the sound of heaven stirring. Something sacred is coming, and your spirit already knows. You are hearing this because heaven has chosen you to sense it before it unfolds on Sunday. There is a trembling in the atmosphere. You haven't felt peace lately, not because you're lost, but because the Spirit is awakening you. Heaven shakes the hearts of those it intends to use. You are not restless by accident. The stirring inside you is prophecy. Every sleepless night, every question, every silence, all of it has been preparing you to hear this moment. It is written in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 28. And afterward, I will pour out my Spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Oh, this is not a verse from the past. It's happening now. The Spirit is being poured out again. Your dreams are not ordinary. The visions that flicker before you in prayer are not imagination. They are indicators of divine movement. Heaven is stirring, and you are one of the first to feel the shift. You've been wondering why everything around you feels unstable: relationships, work, even your own emotions. But this is not chaos, it's alignment. When heaven prepares to rain, the wind always moves first. When glory is about to appear, darkness always resists hardest. You are standing in that sacred tension between what was and what is about to be. Do not fear it. Those who are chosen always experience shaking before revelation. The pressure you feel is not punishment, it's preparation. What seems like the breaking point is actually the sound of heaven opening a door that no one can close. Listen closely. Ordinary days are ending. This Sunday is not just another date on a calendar, it's a divine appointment. The spiritual clock is ticking. Every encounter, every delay, every detour you've faced lately has been leading you toward this moment. The pieces are moving. The unseen world is aligning around your obedience. You may feel stretched, but that's because your spirit is expanding to hold something greater. You no longer fit in old patterns, old friendships, or old fears, because God is pulling you out of what was comfortable into what is consecrated. Those marked by heaven cannot hide forever. The light inside you is beginning to rise, and no darkness can contain it. Those whose hearts are pounding right now, pay attention. That's not emotion. That's confirmation. Your spirit recognizes the frequency of this call. You are not just listening to words. You are part of a prophecy being fulfilled in real time. You have been chosen to stand on the threshold of revelation. This is not merely a warning, it's an invitation. You are being called not to watch, but to participate. When Sunday comes, a shift will occur. It won't start around you, it will start within you. The Spirit will move through your heart like wind across still water, and you will know. This is the moment heaven prepared you for. Do not ignore this. Do not scroll past this message like any other. When your heartbeat matches these words, that's heaven confirming. You were meant to hear this. Hold on to it. Let it anchor your spirit. If this word is reaching you, act now. Like, share, and subscribe So this prophetic flow continues to find you as the days unfold toward Sunday. And as a sign of your agreement, comment the number 316 below a prophetic act to mark your yes to what heaven is doing. When you do, you're not just typing a number, you're declaring, "I hear you, Lord," and heaven takes note of every soul that responds. Sunday is drawing near. Stay awake. Stay ready. When the Spirit is poured out, you will not remain the same. The heavens are moving even now, aligning moments and souls for what's to come. You are not late. You are right on time for divine revelation and holy transformation. Every sign you've been ignoring was heaven's whisper calling you closer. The silence, the pressure, the longing, each one was preparing your heart for this unfolding glory. Stand firm. Lift your eyes. The next breath you take belongs to purpose, not pain. The story shifts on Sunday, and you will stand inside prophecy fulfilled. The clock of heaven moves in silence, yet its rhythm governs all creation. You cannot hear it with your ears, but your spirit feels its pulse. Every breath you've taken, every question you've whispered in the night, each one has been measured by divine timing. Heaven is never rushed, never late. You live not by seconds, but by seasons designed by God Himself. While you have counted days, heaven has been counting surrender. You see delay, but heaven sees development. You call it waiting. God calls it preparation. The reason things haven't moved yet is because destiny demands maturity, not motion. If you receive too soon, what was meant to bless you might break you. The silence of heaven is not rejection, it is calibration. The prophet wrote long ago in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, it hastens toward the goal, and it will not fail. Though it tarries, wait for it will certainly come. It will not delay." These words were not written for ancient ears, only they were written for this very moment of your life. The appointed time is never early, but it is never uncertain. Even now, the unseen clock turns, and you can feel its vibration through your spirit. That inner restlessness, that sacred tension, is proof that divine time is approaching its fullness. Look back at the path behind you. Can you see it now? Every detour, every door that closed, every person who walked away, all of it was orchestration, not accident. Heaven does not make mistakes. Heaven makes timing. You were never forgotten. You were being aligned. Every no was protecting the yes that was reserved for this season. You have stood in long corridors of silence, wondering if God had turned away. You prayed, and the heavens seemed quiet. But the silence of heaven is not empty, it is the sound of construction. While you were weeping, angels were building. While you were waiting, purpose was maturing beneath the surface of unseen soil. Heaven measures readiness, not impatience. When the heart is aligned with obedience, time unlocks itself. You have been growing in secret, shaped by storms and solitude. Heaven's clock has been turning with precision, and you are closer than you realize to your appointed hour. Do not despise this stage. You are living in the sacred in-between, the space where promise and fulfillment breathe the same air. It is here, in the tension of not yet, that faith becomes fire. It is here that your eyes are trained to see beyond evidence. You are being taught to trust the unseen rhythm of heaven's heartbeat. You may have asked, why hasn't it happened yet? But consider this, maybe it already has, just not in the way you expected. Sometimes, heaven's first move is not outward, but inward. Transformation often begins invisibly, reshaping you to hold the weight of what is coming. The true fulfillment begins the moment your heart says yes without proof. There are spiritual seasons that feel heavy, as though the air itself thickens with mystery. These moments are not to be feared. They are signs of divine transition. You are walking between the last page of an old chapter and the first sentence of a new one. Every step you take in faith accelerates the unseen. Heaven's time is perfect. The movement of God cannot be delayed by man, nor can it be hurried by desire. Even your mistakes cannot destroy what God has already written. He redeems time itself. The very moments you thought were wasted have been recycled into wisdom. Look at your life again. You will see threads of divine order where once you saw chaos. You will notice patterns, people entering and exiting like markers of divine orchestration. You were never wandering. You were being guided. What you thought was a pause was actually a pulse. Heaven's heartbeat has been steady, waiting for you to align. Now, the atmosphere around you is shifting. The countdown is reaching its final breath. The appointed moment draws near, and with it comes the unveiling of what you were born for. There will be no trumpet sound, no visible clock striking the hour, but you will know. You will feel it in your bones. That holy certainty that whispers, this is it. You stand at the edge of divine convergence. Time is bowing to destiny. The seconds of earth are catching up to the seasons of heaven. Every delay has been gathering weight, preparing to release in one appointed moment. And when it comes, it will not trickle, it will pour. Wait with faith. Walk with awareness. Heaven's clock is not behind. You are right on schedule for what is written about you. You were never meant to blend in. The sense of not belonging was never a flaw. It was evidence of divine distinction. The ache you've carried, that constant feeling of being different, has always been your signal. You were marked for something that could not fit inside normal patterns. Heaven hid you in plain sight so you could be preserved until the moment of revelation. There were times you looked around and wondered why your heart burned for things others ignored, why you saw purpose where they saw routine. That burning has been the whisper of destiny inside you. The world calls it sensitivity. Heaven calls it discernment. What others overlook, you feel deeply, because the Spirit has trained your heart to sense what eyes cannot see. As the Spirit revealed through the writings of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. No, that command, arise, is not a gentle invitation. It is heaven's trumpet over your life. The moment has come for you to stand in the full radiance of who you are. You have been waiting for permission. But the truth is, permission has already been given. The world does not have to approve what God has already anointed. The chosen rarely fit. You've tried to shrink yourself to be understood, to stay quiet when you were born to speak, but chosen ones carry a frequency that disturbs the ordinary. Darkness recognizes it instantly. That's why resistance has been so intense. Every rejection, every misunderstanding, every season of loneliness was a divine setup to strengthen your identity. You were never isolated for punishment. You were isolated for recognition. The fire in you has survived storms that should have extinguished it. You've faced people who doubted you, moments that almost crushed you, And yet, the flame is still there. That fire is not pride. It is the evidence that heaven's breath still fuels your existence. What you carry cannot be stolen or silenced. Look at your journey, the heartbreaks, the losses, the quiet rebuilding that no one saw. Each piece of pain has been shaping your authority. You no longer speak from theory, you speak from survival. That's why when you enter a room, the spiritual temperature shifts. Your endurance has given your words, "Wait, chosen one." Stop apologizing for your light. It does not make you arrogant to shine, it makes you obedient. Every gift you've been given was meant to pierce darkness. Every ability, every insight, every wound that turned into wisdom, it all belongs to your divine assignment. The Spirit of God is awakening something ancient in you, a roar that has been buried under fear and disappointment. You are being summoned to remember who you are. The shaking in your life is not punishment, it's the breaking of a cocoon. You are not falling apart, you are unfolding. Every time you thought you were being broken, heaven was actually enlarging your capacity. The weight you carry now is the weight of glory. The tears you cried have watered seeds that are about to bloom in power. You've been hidden long enough. The season of emergence has come, and now your spirit feels it, the press, the pull, the calling forward. Heaven is saying, step out of shadows. Your light is not for later, it is for now. There will be people who do not understand you, but there will also be those waiting to be freed by the sound of your obedience. You were never chosen to fit in. You were chosen to ignite. If these words resonate in your spirit, write this below. Light. Awaken. When you type it, you are not just commenting, you are commanding your own spirit to rise. You are aligning your voice with heaven's decree over your life. Every word written in faith becomes movement in the unseen. You're telling the darkness around you that your silence ends here. Heaven has already confirmed it. Your season of hiding is over. You are stepping into visibility, into purpose, into the very promise written over your name. The time is not coming. It has come. Your light is rising now. The winds of transition are already turning. You can sense the shift in your spirit. Subtle, yet undeniable. Heaven's movement brushing against the edges of your reality. This is not imagination, it is confirmation. The unease you feel is spiritual alignment, heaven adjusting your position for visibility, authority, and divine influence. Everything hidden is preparing to emerge. So stand ready. Your voice, your presence, your calling will no longer be contained. The world is about to witness the light heaven placed within you ignite fully. The sky looks the same, yet something beneath it feels different. The air carries a charge, quiet but heavy, as if the world itself holds its breath. You can sense it deep in your chest, a subtle stirring, a spiritual pressure rising before the release. What you are feeling is not anxiety, it is atmosphere. The unseen realm is shifting, and your spirit can feel the tremor before your mind understands it. Every storm begins with silence. The sky dims, the wind pauses, and even creation seems to wait. Then suddenly, everything moves. You are in that still moment now, the pause before the divine storm. What feels like uncertainty is actually preparation. Heaven never announces its arrival with noise. It approaches like thunder forming behind the horizon. Scripture speaks clearly in the Gospel of Luke. Chapter 8, verse 24. He got up and rebuked the wind and the raging waters. The storm subsided, and all was calm. This story is not merely about weather. It is about authority, the kind of authority that wakes within you when storms arise. The same voice that calmed the sea dwells within you. And when the waves of life roar, that voice waits for you to speak. Storms are not sent to destroy you. They are allowed to reveal who you truly are. The turbulence in your life right now is not random. It is divine strategy. The shaking forces you to release what cannot stay. Every storm has an assignment. It exposes what was never anchored and proves what truly stands. When everything around you trembles, heaven is showing you what was temporary and what is eternal. Do not fear this storm. It has not come to erase you. It has come to elevate you. The winds that push against you are the same winds that will carry you higher. Even when everything feels out of control, heaven remains sovereign over the chaos. The storm that feels like a threat is actually a teacher. You have prayed for strength, and storms are how strength is born. You have asked for clarity, and storms are how illusions are cleared. When everything shakes, truth stands tall. When people fade, purpose stays. You are learning to stand without dependence on what can crumble. This is not punishment. It is preparation for permanence. Every chosen soul walks through storms before walking in power. There is no anointing without resistance. No revelation without rain. The disciples did not discover Jesus' authority in calm waters. They found it in a tempest. Likewise, you are learning to trust not the absence of chaos, but the presence of peace in chaos. Your storm carries revelation. The waves are not random. They are prophetic. Each surge brings something to the surface. Fears you buried. Lies you believed. Strength you forgot you had. The wind strips away false security so that you may stand on solid ground. When the storm passes, you will not just survive, you will see differently. If you listen closely, you can hear the deeper rhythm under the noise. The storm's sound is not destruction, it's the rhythm of rebirth. Heaven uses chaos to reset order. Just as soil must break for seeds to sprout, your life must shake for destiny to bloom. The breaking is sacred. There will come a moment when the noise will stop, the clouds will part, and peace will feel unfamiliar at first. You will stand in that quiet, realizing the purpose behind the tempest. What once terrified you will now testify for you. The storm's end will not leave you empty, but refined, lighter, stronger, clearer. You will remember this. Calm is not the absence of storm. Calm is mastery over it. Peace is not weakness, it is authority. The same power that rebuked the sea in Luke 8:24 is rising within you now. The storm did not come to end your story, it came to awaken your command. Soon, you will look back and recognize the wisdom in every wave. The places that shook the hardest will become the very foundations of your strength. The things that fell away were never meant to stay. The people who left made space for those appointed to arrive. Do not curse the storm that trained you. It has taught you endurance, depth, and discernment. You are not at its mercy. You are mastering its rhythm. When this wind dies down, you will not be the same person who entered it. You will carry peace that commands silence. The storm before the shift is always the loudest, but once it passes, the new season begins, not with noise, but with clarity, and that clarity is coming. Hold your ground. The waves are almost done. speaking. Sometimes, what looks like silence from heaven is not distance, it's design. There are seasons when God hides his voice not to punish you, but to protect what he is building in you. When heaven seems quiet, it is never empty. That silence is filled with divine movement. You have walked through those quiet corridors. You've prayed and heard nothing, cried and saw no sign. Yet here you are still standing, still breathing, still searching for purpose. That means the silence didn't win. The very fact that you are still here is proof that heaven has been answering in ways your ears couldn't yet translate. Heaven reminds us through the words of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And those words are not distant history. They are alive inside your present moment. Even when you can't feel him, God's plan is still working around you. The silence was not punishment. It was protection. When God hides his hand, it's often because he's working on the details that would overwhelm you if you saw them too soon. Imagine a seed buried in soil. The darkness around it is not rejection. It's the beginning of transformation. It doesn't complain that it's hidden. It trusts that something greater is forming in silence. That's you right now. You've been buried, but not forgotten. Hidden, but not lost. Covered, but not crushed. In these quiet moments, heaven shapes endurance. The roots of faith grow strongest when no one is watching. You are becoming deeper than circumstances, stronger than feelings, wiser than fear. You are being refined, not reduced. And while this silence has been sacred, there comes a moment when heaven begins to move again, and you can sense it. The wind shifts, the atmosphere changes, the stillness starts to hum with life. That's where you are now. Sunday draws near, and with it comes the movement you've been waiting for. The question is, will you recognize it? Will you stay awake long enough to notice how God is answering what you once cried for? Many miss divine movement because they expect thunder, not whisper. But heaven often speaks in subtle ways through moments, through people, through the quiet pull of your own spirit. That's why staying connected matters. Every time you like, share, and subscribe, you are not feeding an algorithm, you are striking matches in the dark. Each action becomes a spark that carries this message into places your hands may never reach. And for those who feel led, if your heart has found light here and you wish to keep this flame alive, you can donate not as an obligation, but as an offering. Think of it as pouring oil into a lamp so it keeps burning through the long night. There is no pressure in this. Giving is never demanded, it's invited. Every seed you sow, no matter the size, becomes part of a greater harvest of hope. When you give freely, you join heaven in watering the field that once nourished you. Your support, even the smallest gesture, is like a ripple of light moving outward. A like is a spark. A share is a torch passed to another. A donation is a drop of oil, ensuring the flame does not fade. Together, these acts weave a network of light, gentle, voluntary, and powerful. And if what you have now is prayer, then let that be your gift. Pray for others who will hear this. Pray for those still lost in their silence. Every prayer is a seed. Every kind word is rain upon the soil of someone's awakening. We are not building numbers, we are tending fire. The lamp burns because hearts keep feeding it. You are one of those hearts. When you take part by sharing, by praying, or by sowing, you ensure that this light continues to travel far beyond the borders of screens and into the souls who need it most. The silence is breaking. The movement is near. Stay open. Stay connected. Let your life become part of the unfolding, not as a spectator, but as a keeper of the flame. Sunday approaches, and when it unfolds, you will understand that even in silence, heaven was speaking through you. The night is almost over, and the first light is rising. What once felt silent will soon sing, heaven's timing unfolding softly through every breath you take. You are not waiting anymore. You are awakening. The shift begins quietly, like dawn through fog, subtle, unstoppable, and full of promise for what's to come. There are moments in life when the air feels heavy, yet peaceful, when you sense that something unseen walks beside you. You may not hear wings, but you can feel protection. That's not imagination. It's movement from another realm. Heaven operates quietly, yet with absolute precision. While you are sleeping, angels move like wind through the corridors of your life, rearranging, guarding, and guiding. They are not far away. They are near, sent on assignment for those who walk in divine purpose. According to what is spoken in the Psalms of David, chapter 91, verse 11, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Ling, those words are not poetic comfort, they are divine law. Every step you take under obedience summons invisible guardians. They go before you into meetings, journeys, and unseen dangers. Even the accidents that almost happened were blocked by unseen hands. You survived what you never saw coming. Think of the last time you felt strangely protected when peace covered you, though everything said you should have fallen apart. That peace was not coincidence. It was evidence of angels fulfilling their assignment. There are days you feel alone, but the truth is that heaven never leaves its chosen unguarded. The loneliness you sense is only physical. In the spirit, you are surrounded. Like a commander setting watchmen on the walls, God has stationed beings of light around you. Sometimes their presence feels like warmth on a cold day. Sometimes like a quiet thought urging you to pause before danger. They speak in impressions, in timing, in divine delay. Their language is obedience, and their mission is you. The unseen realm watches over your every step. When the path turns dark, heaven's light travels with you through them. You have walked through shadows that should have swallowed you, yet you emerged, scarred, perhaps, but alive. That is the proof of divine defense. These angels are not bound by distance. They move faster than fear, carrying messages, strength, and warnings. They have stopped storms, redirected harm, whispered courage in nights you thought were endless. They are heaven's first responders, and yet their power is tied to your posture. Fear silences their movement. Faith fuels it. When you speak life, they move with authority. When you speak despair, they wait. Your words create their instructions. That is why you must guard what you say, because heaven is listening. Even now, they surround you, not because you earned it, but because you are loved. Their presence doesn't mean life will be easy. it means you will never face it alone. You carry the mark of divine assignment. And that mark attracts both warfare and protection. If you could see in the Spirit, you would find yourself standing in a circle of light, thousands of wings overlapping, forming a shield. Every fiery dart aimed at you burns out before it reaches your heart. Every whisper of fear dissolves before it reaches your soul. Sometimes heaven allows you to walk through danger just so you'll realize later that you were never unguarded. Every close call was a testimony in disguise. You were being watched over by those who never sleep. When you awaken tomorrow, remember this: you are escorted. You are covered. You are accompanied. Nothing enters your life without first passing through heaven's permission. You are never outnumbered. If this truth reaches deep into you, if it reminds you that you were never alone, even when you thought you were, then mark this moment as acknowledgement of protection. Comment the number 414 below. This is not a ritual, not a superstition. It is a symbol. The number 414 carries the essence of divine alignment and angelic order. It mirrors heaven's guardianship. 4 for the corners of the earth where angels stand watch. 1 for the singular power of God who commands them. And another 4 to complete the circle. Heaven above, earth below, and protection all around. When you type it, let it be more than numbers on a screen. Let it be a whisper of gratitude. I see you. Lord, I feel your shield around me. Every comment becomes a beacon in the Spirit, a light shining back toward the throne that sent help in your darkest hour. Let 414 be your digital altar, your quiet thank you carved in light, your declaration that grace has covered you more times than you can count. You have never walked alone. You never will. The light of heaven goes before you. The power of God surrounds you, and His angels remain on duty until the day your journey is complete. There are seasons when heaven seems to draw back its voice, and all that remains is quiet. You listen. You pray. You wait, and still nothing but what you call silence. Heaven calls strategy. God's quiet is not absence, it's alignment. When He speaks less, it means He's doing more than you can comprehend. The ancient scroll of Proverbs declares, chapter 25, verse 2, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings." Auntie, this truth changes everything. When God conceals, He invite poursuit. He hides not to deny, but to deepen your faith. The silence is not rejection, it is revelation disguised as stillness. The king does not shout to his soldiers, he whispers to his heirs. You've been in that silence, haven't you? Days where prayer feels like talking to walls. Nights when your thoughts echo louder than your faith. Yet even then, something in you refuses to stop believing. That defiance against despair is not weakness. It's the whisper of the Spirit, reminding you that heaven's quiet is not emptiness. It's holy construction. When God goes silent, He is rearranging the unseen. The silence between His promises and your breakthrough is where transformation happens. A sculptor doesn't speak while carving. He lets the chisel tell the story. Likewise, God's silence is the sound of shaping. You are not being ignored. You are being refined. Heaven's delay is often the birthplace of depth. If He answered every prayer instantly, your faith would stay shallow. But when you wait and keep believing, something eternal grows inside you, resilience. wisdom, discernment. The silence also reveals what your heart truly believes. When you can't hear his voice, will you still trust his heart? When the light dims, will you remember what he said in the brightness? This is where faith graduates from hearing to knowing. Think of the seed again, buried beneath soil. From the outside, nothing changes. But underneath, roots are forming, stretching, reaching into places they've never been. It's quiet, but it's not still. Silence in heaven works the same way. God plants words in your spirit and then covers them in stillness until they are ready to bloom. You've asked, why won't he speak? But perhaps he has already spoken, and he is now waiting for you to grow into what he said. The silence isn't the end of communication, it's the deepening of it. God is not a performer responding to applause. He is a father training his children to recognize his presence beyond sound. Even when you hear nothing, he is near. The quiet doesn't mean distance, it means intimacy. The deepest relationships don't need constant words, they thrive in understanding. Heaven's silence means trust has matured. God trusts you to stand, even when you can't hear him. Sometimes, silence feels like testing, but tests are never meant to destroy. They are meant to reveal what you've already learned. The stillness of heaven draws out what's been planted in you. When you no longer feel guided by instructions, you start moving by instinct, the instinct of faith. You may think you are waiting on God, but often he is waiting on you to believe, to act, to remember. The silence is his way of saying, you already know what to do. Now, walk it out. No, there's beauty in this quiet. It teaches patience, endurance, and the ability to hear subtler things, the rustle of grace, the hum of divine timing, the gentle nudge toward obedience. You begin to notice that even the still air carries messages. God's silence does not mean he has stopped working. It means the work has moved beneath the surface. While you feel nothing, he is writing new instructions on your heart. While you see nothing, he is aligning people and places to meet you at the perfect time. The greatest miracles are not born in noise but in quiet obedience. The Red Sea parted after a moment of stillness. The resurrection began in a silent tomb. Power often hides behind pause. So when heaven grows quiet again, don't panic, listen differently. Silence has its own language. It tells you, be still and know. It teaches you to anchor in trust rather than chase after noise. Let your soul rest in the quiet assurance that he hasn't left. He's just leading silently. One day soon, you will look back on this silence and realize it spoke louder than any word. You will see how perfectly it all aligned, how every unanswered question became an invitation to deeper knowing. This stillness is sacred. Guard it. Don't fill it with fear or distraction. Sit in it until peace returns. For in this quiet, heaven breathes close enough for you to feel its rhythm again. The silence is not punishment, it is presence disguised. God is nearer than ever, speaking through the space between words, waiting for you to recognize that even quiet can carry glory. There is a weight to waiting, a heaviness that sits quietly in your chest when you know you're meant for more but can't yet see the door. It's the ache between prophecy and manifestation, the stretch of time where faith feels thin and patience is tested in silence. Yet this waiting, as painful as it feels, is not wasted. It's the forge where endurance is refined and purpose takes shape. As the apostle testified in his letter to the Romans, chapter 5, verses 3 and 4, we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope. Waiting is not punishment, it's process. It transforms you quietly, layer by layer, shaping the person you must become to carry what you have prayed for. Heaven cannot place eternal weight in unsteady hands. Before God entrusts you with the blessing, He ensures you can withstand it. That's what waiting does. It builds capacity. You may not realize it now, but this waiting season is holy ground. Every delay, every unanswered question, every quiet day that feels like nothing is happening, heaven sees it all. The invisible work being done in you is greater than the visible reward you're hoping for. You are being developed, not innate. Sometimes the waiting feels like wandering. You take a few steps forward, only to circle back. You make progress, then watch doors close again. But even circles in God's timing have purpose. They strengthen your steps, teaching you how to walk with steadiness instead of speed. In the waiting, your heart learns what your mind never could, that trust is not built on outcomes but on presence. You begin to recognize that God is not in a hurry, because eternity never rushes. The same God who carved galaxies with patience is the one forming your next chapter. Waiting feels heavy because it requires surrender. You must lay down your timeline, your expectations, your plans, and choose faith over frustration. Yet, every time you surrender, you make room for God to move. Waiting stretches the soul until it becomes wide enough to receive what's been promised. Think of Joseph, who dreamed of leadership but was thrown into pits and prisons before stepping into power. His delays were not detours, they were development. The weight of waiting built within him the strength to carry influence without arrogance. God's promises are never fragile. It is we who must become strong enough to hold them. In your own story, every disappointment is adding depth to your faith. Every not yet is chiseling away impatience, carving out character. You may think nothing is happening, but in truth, the foundation of your future is being reinforced. Waiting doesn't weaken faith, it strengthens it through resistance. And even now, while your prayers seem unanswered, God is answering in layers. He's aligning people, preparing opportunities, softening hearts, moving obstacles. You are waiting on something that is already in motion. What looks still from your side is thunderously active on His part. If you could see the unseen, you would understand why this waiting matters. Every moment of patience is writing spiritual muscle into your soul. The tension you feel, the stretch, the longing is your spirit expanding to contain destiny. There is beauty here. 2. Waiting teaches gratitude. It opens your eyes to blessings you once overlooked, the strength of breath, the mercy of another sunrise, the quiet gift of endurance. It turns survival into worship. When you thank God even without visible progress, heaven calls that maturity, and when you finally reach the promise, it won't feel like sudden success. It will feel like recognition. You'll realize you've grown into the very answer you prayed for. The person who began this waiting season will not be the same one who finishes it. Do not rush this time. Every unfinished prayer, every unanswered when, is still working for your good. Patience is not passive, it's prophetic endurance. Waiting is not standing still, it's standing strong. You are in divine preparation. The longer it takes, the greater the glory it will reveal. God does not delay without purpose. He is aligning perfection to meet readiness. When you look back, you'll understand that every pause was mercy, every delay was grace, and every silent day was heaven's way of building unshakable faith. Waiting may feel like emptiness now, but it's the womb of fulfillment. So breathe deeply. The weight you carry today is proof that something divine is growing inside you. Don't mistake stillness for stagnation. What feels like waiting is actually becoming. And when the moment comes when what you've been praying for finally unfolds, you will see that the waiting wasn't a burden after all. It was the blessing in disguise. There are crossroads in every believer's journey, places where obedience and rebellion stand side by side, waiting for your next step to choose the direction of destiny. This moment feels heavy because heaven has paused to watch what you will do next. The air itself carries weight, not of fear, but of divine decision. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 5. Now, if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession. Every choice births a consequence. Every hesitation shifts alignment. You are not standing at a small turning, but at a spiritual intersection that decides inheritance. Heaven's call is clear, but so is distraction's whisper. The war is not between good and evil, it's between surrender and resistance. You know this feeling, the tug-of-war inside, the quiet debate between what feels safe and what feels right. You've asked for confirmation, but deep down, you already know the answer. Heaven doesn't repeat what your spirit already recognizes. God will not shout what obedience has already heard. This is the place where many lose momentum, caught between faith and fear. You stand in the same tension the prophets once felt, the same stillness that tested Abraham, Moses, and Esther. Each one had to decide whether comfort was worth the cost of calling. None of them were given the full map. They simply said, yes. You are in that same sacred space. And like them, you will not see the next step until you move your foot. Heaven hides instruction behind action. The key to unlocking your next chapter is one obedient motion, one yes, even when it trembles. Every hesitation births delay. Every act of obedience shifts atmosphere. Your next decision will either draw heaven closer or keep it waiting. Mercy is patient, but it does not pause forever. Every moment of delay becomes a crack where doubt tries to enter. Don't let indecision paralyze you. The enemy doesn't need to make you sin. He only needs to make you stall. Procrastination is rebellion in disguise, and every maybe later is a slow surrender to fear. This moment is not about religion, it's about response. Heaven has placed choices before you that will reshape your path, how you speak, what you forgive, where you stand. The smallest decision can open or close the greatest doors. If you choose surrender, you will find peace. If you resist, the silence will grow louder. The spirit does not argue, it waits. But once you obey, the air clears, the heaviness lifts, and strength returns. Obedience restores the flow of heaven's voice. Do not underestimate this hour. Prophetic crossroads never appear twice in the same form. When God says, now, He means it. Delay long enough, and the window closes not in punishment, but in protection. Heaven moves with purpose. If you lag behind, Grace must redirect you through harder lessons. The beautiful truth is that obedience is always met with mercy. God never demands perfection, only direction. One small yes outweighs 1,000 apologies. He measures willingness more than worthiness. You've felt the weight of indecision pressing on your heart for weeks, maybe months. This is your confirmation. The time to decide is not tomorrow, it is now. The same fire that once burned in your spirit is calling again. You have felt it flicker, but it has not gone out. One obedient breath can set it ablaze. And when you choose right, heaven moves instantly. Angels shift position. Opportunities align. Peace returns like water to dry ground. All of heaven responds to one act of surrender. If this message stirs that sacred tension inside you, don't overthink it. Just respond. Comment, "I choose yes." And that declaration is not for the screen, it's for your soul. It's the sound of obedience echoing through the unseen. When you type it, you are not proving anything to others. You are confirming to heaven that you hear and you're ready. Your crossroads has a countdown, but it also has grace. Step forward. Don't let fear hold the pen that writes your next chapter. The future is waiting for the sound of your yes. The moment you decide, the storm within you will settle. The confusion will fade because obedience always clears the fog that fear creates. You will sense alignment again, doors unlocking, peace returning, strength rebuilding. Heaven responds to movement. Your yes becomes the signal that sets destiny in motion. This choice is not about earning love, but embracing it. When you obey, you step into the rhythm of divine partnership. God moves. You move. And creation adjusts around your faith. There are moments when life presses hard enough that something inside you breaks, and in that breaking, light gets in. What once felt like the end begins to sound like birth. Pain changes shape when you realize it was never meant to destroy you, only to deliver you. The ground that trembled beneath you was never falling apart. It was opening. We are reminded in the writings of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, "I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people." End of. And they will say, "The Lord is our God." End of. Refining fire doesn't come to punish, it comes to purify. The same heat that melts gold also reveals its worth. Every trial that burned through your life was heaven's forge, shaping strength into your spirit. The pain wasn't the enemy, it was the sculptor. Think of yourself as clay in the hands of the maker. The wheel spins, the pressure builds, and it feels like you are being torn apart. But the potter knows exactly where to press. The cracks you fear are simply places where the shape of your purpose is forming. There were nights you asked, "Why me?" But heaven was answering, "Because I trust you." The fire you survived made you more radiant. Every broken piece became a mirror reflecting divine glory. You may carry scars, but they shine like gold under light. This is the moment to see your pain differently. It was never random. It was heaven's rehearsal for revelation. What broke you was birthing something unbreakable. Now, as you breathe again, you realize you are still here, and that means there is still purpose. You're no longer defined by what you lost, but by what remains. Those qualities are treasures that only storms can uncover. If this message finds you in that quiet recovery, let it remind you, nothing you've endured is wasted. The ashes you stand on today are fertile ground for miracles. What looks like ruin will soon bloom again. And if these words bring light to your heart, remember that light multiplies when it's shared. When you like, you keep the flame alive. When you share, you hand someone else a spark in their darkness. When you subscribe, you choose to stay connected to a stream of truth that keeps flowing, gently and freely. Every act of connection keeps this field of light growing. But there's another layer, one made of gratitude. If your heart has found healing through these words and you feel moved to donate, think of it not as giving away, but as planting a seed in the same soil that restored you. No one is asked. No one is pushed. This is sacred space, not transaction. Your giving is oil poured into the lamp that keeps burning through the long night. Every offering, whether of time, prayer, or support, becomes part of the light that continues to reach others lost in the storm. A like is a ripple. A share is a river. A donation is a lighthouse. Together, they guide others home. It's not about numbers, it's about nourishment. Every small gesture carries weight in eternity because it keeps hope traveling farther than any one voice could reach. If you choose to sow into this light, do it with joy. Let it be your thank you to heaven for every time grace caught you mid-fall. See it as setting another table in the wilderness for someone still wandering. What you send returns multiplied peace, provision, and unexpected mercy. And if today you have nothing to give but presence, that too is enough. Stay, listen, and breathe. Prayer is the purest gift, and silence offered with sincerity becomes incense before God. Remember, this message was never meant to ask, it was meant to awaken. The choice to give, to share, to stay connected, is always yours. Heaven never forces generosity, it invites it. Love remains free, and freedom is what makes it sacred. You've walked through fire and come out shining. Let the warmth you carry now touch others. Every act of kindness, visible or unseen, is proof that the refining worked. You are no longer the broken vessel you once feared you'd become. You are the lamp that survived the storm. So, as you continue forward, hold this truth: the flame in you is not fragile. It's holy fire. You don't need to protect it from the world. You were made to bring it into the world. Keep shining. Keep sharing. Keep sowing into what gives life. The harvest will come not because you demanded it, but because heaven always honors light, freely given. And when that day comes, you'll see that your small acts, your compassion, your prayer, your open hand were the very tools God used to build miracles through you. You were refined to radiate. Let that light speak louder than any word. There is a moment in time when the air shifts, when you can almost feel heaven lean closer. You don't always see it, but something around you begins to hum with purpose. The atmosphere thickens with unseen power, and your spirit recognizes it before your mind can define it. This is the hour when mantles descend. A mantle is not cloth or symbol, it is a transfer of divine responsibility, a passing of spiritual authority from one generation to another. When heaven prepares to release a new wave of purpose, it searches for hearts that are both willing and ready. Readiness is not perfection, it is availability. Heaven looks not for the flawless, but for the faithful. The sacred text of Revelation proclaims, chapter 3, verse 8, See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. This is the essence of the mantle season. God opens doors that no opposition can close. But those doors are not for status, they are for service. The new mantle is not a crown for pride, but a cloak for purpose. It carries weight, not décoration. When mantles descend, the invisible becomes tangible. Dreams once distant begin to take shape. Strength you didn't know you had rises from within. Suddenly, what seemed too great for you feels possible. Not because you've grown stronger, but because grace has expanded around you. You may feel unqualified, but that is often the first sign of calling. God's assignments are never based on comfort. They are based on capacity. And capacity is built through surrender. Every time you said yes in private, every time you obeyed when no one watched, heaven took note. Those hidden moments have qualified you for this visible release. The mantle doesn't fall on the proud or the loud. It falls on those who endured quietly. It rests on those who didn't seek attention but carried responsibility faithfully, while others chased titles. You stayed true. While others built platforms, you built alts. That is why heaven now entrusts you with what cannot be earned, divine influence wrapped in humility. When this mantle settles upon you, it changes how you walk. Your words will carry new weight. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Where confusion once ruled, clarity will follow. Where weakness once spoke, wisdom will rise. You won't need to announce it. The Spirit will make it known. You may feel the weight of this new grace pressing on your shoulders. It is holy pressure. It teaches you balance. Just as armor teaches a warrior strength, don't run from it. Learn to carry it. Every mantle brings both glory and gravity. The glory draws light. The gravity keeps you grounded. There will be days when the mantle feels heavy. You'll feel misunderstood, isolated, even resisted. That's because new levels attract new opposition. But remember, mantles do not come without power. What rests on you also shields you. The same anointing that lifts you protects you. When Elijah passed his mantle to Elisha, it wasn't ceremony, it was succession. It was heaven saying, "My work continues through willing hearts." You are standing in that same lineage. The same God who moved through prophets and poets now moves through you. Your generation's awakening is tied to your obedience. Don't doubt the moment. The mantle may not arrive with thunder or visible signs. It often comes quietly, like a weight of peace. You may notice that your words begin to pierce deeper, that your prayers stir faster, that your awareness of God's presence sharpens. Those are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Every season of training, every hidden hardship, every tear you offered in surrender has prepared you for this. You are stepping into the reason you survived. The fire you walked through didn't burn you. It forged the vessel that could hold this anointing. Carry it well. Don't let pride distort what humility delivered. The mantle is not for boasting, it is for building. It calls you to lift others, to speak life, to guide, to serve. You are now a carrier of something eternal, a vessel through which heaven moves. And as this mantle descends, peace will follow it. The trembling inside will quiet. You will know, without word, without doubt, that you've crossed into divine purpose. You are no longer waiting for it, you are walking in it. The open door before you is real. Step through it with reverence, not fear. What lies ahead is not for your glory, but for God's. The mantle that rests upon you today is both inheritance and invitation, a sacred reminder that heaven still trusts humanity to carry light. There are moments when heaven draws near enough for the soul to tremble. You can feel it, a stirring that calls you to attention. A quiet urgency humming in the air. This is not ordinary time. This is the alignment of prophecy and promise, where the unseen becomes visible and what was spoken long ago begins to breathe in your present. The Gospel of Matthew records the words of Jesus himself. Chapter 18, verse 18. Truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. These words carry more than comfort, they carry authority. Heaven listens when the chosen speak in faith. Every word you release has power to shift atmosphere. Every prayer you whisper moves unseen forces. You are not powerless, you are partnered. When heaven unfolds, it doesn't act alone. It moves through willing hearts, through those who understand that faith is not waiting, but participation. The season that is arriving calls for alignment. You can feel it, the pull to release old things, to forgive what hurt you, to let go of distractions that drained you. That restlessness in your spirit isn't weariness. It's the signal that heaven's rhythm is changing. The door of destiny has begun to open, and you are being summoned through it. You might sense the tension between surrender and hesitation. That's natural. Every unfolding begins with uncertainty, because faith must take the first step before sight can follow. You don't need to understand everything that's coming. You only need to respond. Heaven unfolds for those who act, not merely those who observe. If you've been walking through confusion, trust this. God is not lost in your story. Every delay, every detour, every strange silence was designed to bring you right here to the edge of the unveiling. Sunday is not just a date, it's a symbol of resurrection, the renewal of what was thought dead. There are doors opening right now, quietly, in places you least expect. Conversations that will confirm your calling. Opportunities that seem random, but are precisely timed. Even your current discomfort is proof that you're outgrowing what no longer fits. The old skin must shed for new light to rest upon you. Heaven's unfolding does not arrive with chaos, it arrives with clarity. Peace follows revelation, like dawn follows night. You will begin to see how every broken moment was an essential piece of divine structure. The puzzle of your pain becomes the portrait of your purpose. And yet, this moment requires acknowledgement, not as superstition, but as a spiritual marker. In Scripture, whenever God moved, His people built altars not for worship of the place, but to remember what happened there. This is your altar moment, right here, right now. If this message resonates deeply, if something within you whispers, "This is for me," then make it known in faith. Comment the number 929 below. This is not about numerology, it is about remembrance. The number 929 represents divine unfolding, the ninth hour, when completion meets the beginning of new creation. The double nine mirrors the closing of one cycle and the birth of another, while the 2 inches, the middle, symbolizes agreement, heaven and earth in alignment. It's your acknowledgement that the season has shifted, that what was hidden is being revealed. When you type it, do it reverently, not routinely. Let it be your way of saying, I'm ready for what's next. Heaven doesn't need the number, but your spirit does. It becomes a small prophetic act, a whisper written into eternity, marking the moment you said yes to divine timing. This is what the unfolding looks like, not sudden chaos, but slow revelation. Light doesn't crash into darkness, it rises gently, steady and unstoppable. That's how your purpose is awakening now. Don't rush it. Don't fear it. Just stay aware. The same spirit that hovered over creation hovers over you now. You are being shaped for greater things, for higher influence, for deeper peace. The unfolding isn't coming from the outside, it's rising from within. Soon, the world around you will notice the change before you do. Your words will carry new weight. Your peace will confound chaos. Your very presence will begin to shift rooms, not because you're trying, but because heaven has begun to move through you. This is your confirmation. The waiting has been worth it. The silence was not empty. It was the sound of preparation. The unfolding has begun, and all of heaven is watching, waiting for your agreement. So let 929 be your signpost. Type it with intention. Whisper it as prayer. Let it stand as your quiet yes to the movement of heaven. The unfolding isn't near, it's now. When light begins to move, shadows scatter. What once hid comfortably in the corners of your life cannot remain there when truth arrives. Exposure is never easy, but it is always necessary. The spirit that brings blessing also brings unveiling. When God begins to elevate you, He first removes everything that cannot rise with you. The Spirit spoke again through the prophet Micah, chapter 7, verse 8. Do not gloat over me, my enemy. Though I have fallen, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. This is the sound of resilience, but it is also the anthem of revelation. To rise, you must first face what has been hiding beneath the surface. False alliances, counterfeit peace, disguised intentions. When light increases, pretense cannot survive. What seemed loyal begins to reveal its cracks. What looked genuine begins to show its mask. Exposure is an act of mercy. God does not reveal to humiliate. He reveals to heal. You have prayed for clarity, and now it is coming. But clarity always begins with discomfort. The people, patterns, and places that once felt safe will begin to shift. It's not betrayal, it's purification. Heaven never uncovers what it does not intend to redeem. There were relationships you thought were divinely sent, but they were assignments of distraction. There were opportunities that glittered like gold, but were made of sand. There were habits that soothed the surface but drained your soul. God is pulling them into light, not to punish you, but to free you. The truth He reveals is never meant to destroy, it's meant to distinguish. You are entering a season where the false will crumble quietly, not with drama, but with distance. The doors that close will do so softly, almost peacefully, because heaven's hand will be on the handle. The noise of confusion will fade, replaced by the sound of release. You will begin to breathe differently, lighter, clearer, freer. It might feel lonely for a while. That's what exposure does. It creates space. But that space is sacred. It's where new voices, new strength, and new guidance will enter. When God clears your circle, it's never empty for long. He removes to replace, prunes to multiply. Do not mourn what He removes. If it was truly meant for you, it could have survived the light. The things that collapse under exposure were already fragile. The light simply revealed it sooner. Your heart will heal faster when you understand that divine exposure is protection dressed as loss. Even the weaknesses inside you will surface, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. God cannot heal what you keep hidden. There will be moments when your own motives are tested, when you see parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. Don't run from that mirror. The same light that exposes also restores. Acknowledgement is the first step toward transformation. The refining of your character mirrors the refining of gold. Impurities rise only under fire. The process feels harsh, but the result is brilliance. When the truth surfaces, don't fight it, thank it. Every revelation, even painful ones, is an answered prayer for authenticity. You will notice changes in how you perceive things. What once impressed you will now irritate you. What once drained you will no longer hold your attention. Your spirit will start rejecting what doesn't carry the frequency of truth. That sensitivity is not moodiness, it's discernment awakening. The exposure of counterfeits is not limited to people, it includes ideas, habits, and environments. You may feel pulled away from certain conversations or pursuits that once defined you. That's heaven protecting your purity. God is not only separating you from what's false, He's aligning you with what's faithful. In time, you will see the pattern. Every person removed made room for one ordained. Every door that closed redirected your steps to a door that could handle your weight. Every disappointment became redirection disguised as loss. Exposure may sting, but revelation always follows. The light that unmasks deception also unveils destiny. When what is false fades, what is real begins to shine. Your circle may shrink, but your clarity will expand. So let this season do its work. Don't chase what's leaving, bless it and release it. Don't resist what's being revealed. Trust that the same God who shows the truth will give you the grace to walk through it. In a little while, you will look back on what's falling away and realize it wasn't rejection, it was rescue. And you will thank heaven for every unveiling that taught you the difference between what you wanted and what you truly needed. The light that once frightened you will become your guide. And when it shines again, it won't just expose it, will illuminate the next step of your destiny. When the fire of exposure has done its work, something new begins to stir beneath the ashes. What once felt like destruction now feels like release. You realize that everything which burned away was never truly part of you. It was only the shell surrounding your true form. Rising is not about going higher, it's about becoming lighter. It was declared in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." This truth settles deep when you finally understand that pain is not wasted. Every tear has been building unseen strength. Every loss has been chiseling depth into your heart. Glory always outweighs grief in the end. The balance shifts quietly one day. You wake up and notice that the weight that once crushed you now fuels your wings. The ashes you stand on are not graves, they are gardens. What you thought ended has become soil for new beginnings. Every disappointment you've endured was a seed disguised as failure. You are now standing in the fertile field of restoration. The same ground that once held your sorrow is the ground from which your victory will grow. Rising again is not instant. It begins softly, almost shyly. Hope returns first as a whisper. Then, as a rhythm in your chest, you begin to dream again, cautiously, like someone touching fire for the first time after being burned. But this time, the flame does not consume, it warms. You start to see your scars differently. They no longer scream of what was lost, but speak quietly of what was overcome. Each mark becomes a story of endurance. Scars are not proof of failure, they are evidence of survival, of grace that refused to let go. There was a version of you that believed pain would define your future. That version is gone. What stands now is the refined self wiser, calmer, stronger, no longer chasing validation. You no longer seek to prove your worth. You've already discovered it in the fire that tried to erase you. You may notice that your perspective has changed. The things that once consumed you, people's opinions, old fears, memories that used to hurt, no longer hold the same power. You've learned to breathe in peace instead of panic. The storms outside can no longer shake the calm inside. That calm is resurrection. The phoenix is not reborn because it avoids fire. It is reborn because it embraces it. You, too, have learned the sacred art of rising through surrender. You stopped running from endings and started trusting what comes after. This is what heaven calls transformation. There will be quiet days ahead when the new life still feels fragile. Be patient. Growth never rushes. Healing doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It arrives in ordinary moments, morning light through curtains, laughter after tears, peace in places that once felt haunted. The rebuilding has already begun, not from what was left behind, but from what was discovered within. God does not rebuild using old ruins. He builds from the purity of what survived. What remains in you after loss is not brokenness, it's blueprint. The foundation is faith. And from that, everything new will rise. You may feel the urge to plan every detail of what's next. But resurrection cannot be micromanaged. Let it breathe. Let it grow wild. The Spirit does its finest work in freedom. Don't confine what was reborn through divine fire to the limits of your old expectations. You are entering a season where peace replaces panic. Where you once reacted, now you will respond. Where you once wept, now you will water the seeds of others' healing. What you have endured has made you a carrier of comfort. You are not merely healed, you are now a healer. Others will recognize something different about you, though they may not have the words for it. They will feel your steadiness, your warmth, your quiet strength. That is resurrection light. It doesn't demand attention, it simply radiates. You don't need to announce your rising, your peace will do it for you. This is the holy paradox of restoration. The very things that hurt you have made you whole. The fire that broke you built your endurance. The silence that scared you taught you faith. The loss that emptied you created space for fullness. Look around you. The landscape of your life may not look the same, but that's because it has been renewed. You are walking on sacred ground now, terrain formed by tears, watered by prayer, and kissed by mercy. The rising is complete when gratitude replaces regret. And if you are reading these words with calm in your chest, even after everything you've been through, then the resurrection is already happening. You are proof that ashes can glow again. There comes a time when confirmation no longer needs to be searched, for it begins to find you. Signs, dreams, words from strangers, moments that seem ordinary but carry divine fingerprints. When heaven confirms something, it does not shout. It whispers in ways that only your soul can recognize. As written in the book of Daniel, the seer of mysteries, chapter 10, verse 12. Do not be afraid, since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. That verse is a reminder that heaven hears instantly, even when answers travel slowly. The confirmation you've been waiting for has already been released. It's just finding its way through time. The delay is not denial, it's direction. What is yours cannot be lost. It can only be aligned. You've likely noticed small things lately, songs that speak directly to your spirit, phrases that repeat across days, faces that reappear just when you need them. These are not coincidences, they are divine breadcrumbs, guiding you toward understanding. Heaven has a language of symbols, and you are learning to read it. God never leaves his children wandering without a sign. But signs are not meant to replace faith, they are meant to strengthen it. A sign is a window, not a map. It reveals enough light for the next step, never the entire journey. This is how heaven teaches trust, step by step, sign by sign. You may be wondering if you're truly on the right path, but if peace has begun to settle over your confusion, that is your answer. The storm doesn't always stop when you're right. It simply loses its power to scare you. Peace is the ultimate confirmation. You've come a long way from fear to faith, from survival to surrender. And now, heaven moves through your life like quiet rain, watering the ground you once thought was barren. You're beginning to see fruit where there used to be frustration. That's how you know the promise is near, when effort begins to feel like ease. The trumpet of confirmation doesn't always sound in the sky. Sometimes it sounds in the steady rhythm of your heart, finally at rest. When you feel that quiet certainty, share it, not out of routine, but out of reverence. Each time you breathe life into a spark that might have gone unnoticed. Each share releases that spark like a dandelion seed, letting the wind of grace decide where it lands. Each comment is a small stone placed at the edge of a river, marking where revelation touched you. You're not helping a platform grow, you're building pathways for light. When you subscribe, it's not about following a voice, it's about staying in the rhythm of remembrance, returning to the well whenever your spirit thirsts again. And if gratitude ever stirs in you, let a donation flow like water poured into the soil that once revived you. Think of it not as payment but as participation, the quiet joy of tending the same field that once fed your hunger for hope. There is no demand, no debt, only the invitation of love. Every gesture, small or great, is a petal laid upon sacred ground. The act itself whispers, I believe in keeping the light alive. No, and even if all you do is sit quietly, letting this word settle in your heart, that too is participation. Listening is an offering. Reflection is a form of prayer. Heaven measures impact not by numbers, but by sincerity. You've reached the part of the story where the signs align, where prayers start to echo back as answers. The doors you once knocked on will begin to open softly. The waiting has turned into becoming, So breathe deeply. Let gratitude move through you like wind through leaves. Let your response, whatever it is, be born not from duty, but from delight. Whether it's a word, a click, or a seed, let it come from joy, because joy is heaven's favorite kind of obedience, and where joy flows, confirmation always follows. The sound of heaven's affirmation is never loud. It's a hum beneath your heartbeat, a peace that quietly declares, you are on the right path. Every gentle nudge, every small confirmation, is God's way of saying, I am still here, still guiding, still proud of your persistence. So, walk forward softly, with gratitude in every step. What awaits ahead is not another test, it's the harvest of everything you trusted Him for in silence. There are moments when the familiar becomes too small for what God has placed within you. It doesn't mean you've failed, it means you've grown. The space that once felt comfortable begins to feel confining, and your spirit starts to ache for something beyond the horizon. You try to stay where you were, but everything around you whispers, it's time to move. Heaven's decree was recorded in the book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 3. Leave your country and your people, God said, and go to the land I will show you. That was not only a command to Abraham, it is a call that echoes through every generation of faith. The call to leave what is known for what is promised, to step out of the comfort of explanation into the wildness of trust. Every destiny begins with departure. Leaving is rarely easy. It means letting go of what has defined you, even when it's familiar. It means walking away from patterns that once protected you, but now limit you. It means learning to travel light, carrying faith as your only map. You have felt that stirring lately, the quiet discontent that tells you your current chapter is ending. Don't mistake it for failure. The ache to leave is not rebellion, it's revelation. Heaven never asks you to stay in places that can no longer hold your growth. When God said, "Go to the land I will show you," He didn't provide coordinates. He provided companionship. The promise was not a destination, it was guidance. God never sends you alone. He goes with you. The unknown is not empty. It's inhabited by His presence. The hardest part of obedience is the first step. We crave clarity before movement. But God offers clarity through movement. Vision expands only when feet obey. Each step of faith pulls new light over the path ahead. If you wait until everything makes sense, you'll stay where you are forever. You don't have to know where you're going to know, you're being guided. The evidence of divine direction isn't a roadmap, it's peace. Even when fear tries to speak louder, peace will remain like a compass pointing true north. Trust that stillness. When Abraham left his homeland, he didn't leave out of ambition, he left out of obedience. Every great story of faith begins the same way. A quiet yes, whispered into uncertainty. That's all. Heaven needs to begin unfolding a legacy. You may not be asked to leave a physical place, but perhaps you're being called to leave an emotional one, a mindset, a fear, a habit, or even an old version of yourself. Sometimes, the land God is showing you is not around you, but within you. The promised land often starts as a renewed heart. As you move forward, some people won't understand. They might call your departure confusion or pride. But what they can't see is that obedience often looks like rebellion to those who've stopped listening. Don't argue. Just keep walking. The results will speak for you. And when the nights get long, remember that Abraham didn't have a map. He had a promise. The stars above him were his reminders, shining as silent witnesses that heaven keeps its word. You have your own stars, moments of grace, memories of answered prayers, glimpses of God's goodness. Look at them when fear tries to return. Each step you take is sacred. The unknown isn't punishment, it's preparation. You are being positioned for expansion, and expansion always begins with movement. The land God shows you won't just change your surroundings, it will change your soul. So, do not resist the pull of the new. The unfamiliar is not unsafe when God is leading. What waits ahead is greater than what you're leaving behind. Every journey of faith feels like loss at first, but soon reveals itself as liberation. You are not being pushed out, you are being invited forward. The hand that unsettled your comfort is the same hand preparing your promise. Trust that hand. Trust that call. The same voice that said, "Go to Abraham," now whispers it to you, not to drive you away, but to draw you closer to what has always been waiting. One day, you'll look back and realize that obedience didn't take you from home, it brought you to it. The land he shows you isn't always physical soil. Sometimes it's peace, purpose, and the place your spirit was created to dwell. Step forward, even if your knees tremble. The journey of faith begins not with understanding, but with surrender. The promise waits beyond the familiar. Go, and as you go, you will see that heaven's map was written in your heart all along. There is a stillness that comes after obedience, a quiet, unlike any silence you have known before. It is not the silence of uncertainty, but the calm that follows surrender. You've walked through storms, stood in fire, and waited through nights that felt endless. Yet here you are. The air feels different now. The ground beneath you no longer trembles. It's as if heaven itself exhales through you. The final revelation echoes what is written in the book of John, chapter 16, verse 33. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. These are not words meant to erase difficulty, but to redefine victory. Trouble is not proof of absence. It is the stage where overcoming is displayed. Every struggle you faced, every unanswered prayer, every tear that refused to fall unnoticed, they have all been part of the story that leads here, to this quiet realization. You made it through. You are not the same person who began this journey. The wilderness that once frightened you has become familiar ground. You've learned to recognize God not only in thunder but in still air. You've discovered that miracles don't always look like mountains moving. They often look like hearts that keep believing when everything else breaks. This stillness is sacred because it carries understanding. The storms taught you endurance. The silence taught you trust. And the waiting taught you patience. Together, they built within you a faith that doesn't depend on sight. You have crossed from knowing about God to knowing Him. That is the true destination of every chosen one. The greatest revelation of all is that heaven was never far away. The guidance you sought in the sky was whispering inside you all along. When you obeyed, you didn't climb toward heaven, you uncovered it within your own spirit. The divine was never distant, it was dormant, waiting for awakening. You now carry a peace that no chaos can counterfeit. It doesn't mean life will be without pain, but pain no longer defines your reality. You have seen how quickly storms can become teachers, and how often endings disguise themselves as beginnings. You have learned to love the process as much as the promise. The final phase of becoming isn't about achieving more, it's about resting deeper. Purpose doesn't need constant movement, it requires still roots. You have become like a tree planted by the river, unmoved by weather, unshaken by seasons. What used to feel like delay now feels like divine timing. There will still be moments of uncertainty, but now you will meet them differently. You won't beg for answers, you will listen for instructions. You won't panic when plans shift, you will look for God in the change. That's growth. That's transformation. That's faith matured into wisdom. And as the future unfolds, remember this: what God builds in secret, He reveals in strength. You may not notice your growth until others begin to find shelter under your branches. You've become a vessel of stability for those still searching for their footing. Every scar you carry has turned into a map for someone else's healing. This is what it means to be chosen not to live above life's chaos, but to walk through it carrying unshakable calm. The crown you wear is invisible to the world, but radiant in the spirit. It was formed through endurance, humility, and quiet obedience. You are no longer waiting for validation, you are walking as confirmation. Look back one last time. The pain, the process, the perseverance. It all forms a tapestry so intricate that only now do you see the pattern. Every thread that once seemed random was part of divine weaving. You were never wandering, you were being woven. As this chapter closes, feel the weight lift. You have crossed from striving into peace, from proving into being. This is the fulfillment of the promise, not the removal of challenges, but the revelation of constant presence. Heaven has not changed its mind about you. It has simply revealed its plan in full. You are the living evidence that divine words never return empty. You are the promise fulfilled in motion, the testimony wrapped in breath. Your journey will continue. But now you walk not as one searching for purpose, you walk as purpose embodied. Let the silence stay. Let the peace settle. Let your heart remember that what began as calling has become communion. You have entered rest, not the rest of completion, but the rest of trust. Heaven's final whisper to you is not command, but comfort. It is done. You are ready. Go in peace. If you've come this far, if these words have lingered in your spirit, then you already know you were guided here. Every breath that steadied, every sentence that found you, was heaven's whisper reminding you that your story still carries divine purpose. Now, before you step away, pause for a moment. Feel what is stirring in your chest, the warmth, the clarity, the quiet. Let that be your offering. And if you wish to keep this light moving beyond yourself, there are ways, gentle, sacred ways to do it. When you like, it's more than a gesture, it's a spark of recognition, a way of saying, I see the light and I choose to keep it burning. When you share, it becomes like releasing a lantern into the night sky, trusting that its glow will find someone who needs hope as much as you once did. Your comment is a footprint in the sand of this moment, a mark that says, I was here, I received, I believe. Every word you leave behind ripples outward, touching souls you may never meet. When you subscribe, you're not following, you're returning to the well. You're saying, remind me again when my heart forgets. It's a way of staying tethered to what lifts you higher. And for those who feel moved beyond words, a donation is not an obligation, it's a seed of gratitude. Picture it as pouring oil into the lamp that has kept you warm. Each drop ensures that this flame keeps reaching others still waiting in the dark. There is no pressure, no expectation, only invitation. Every gesture becomes an act of worship, quiet and beautiful. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your continuation, the point where reflection turns into motion. Carry what you've found here into every conversation, every silence, every day that follows. You are part of the light now. Keep it moving. Keep it alive. Keep it kind.